We are live from the Microsoft MTC here in Malvern, Pennsylvania. It's our Philly Tech Talk after show that normally comes at you right after a Philly.net meetup or hands-on lab or on the other Wednesdays in between. But tonight we didn't stream our meetup. Instead, we are here live after having over 100 folks here at the MTC for our annual Kids Can Code Night. And one of the attendees was this young lady right here. What's her name?
Samantha.
Samantha was here tonight. And Samantha, how old are you?
9.
And I've never met you before, right, Samantha? No? Okay, so I do know Samantha from somewhere previously. Kind of met her around, right? How do I know you?
Dad.
Oh, okay. So Samantha's my daughter, and she was here tonight for one of our 2 sessions. We had 2 talented speakers, and what's awesome is I think this is the 5th year we've done this, and every time we've had kids teaching kids, which is something we really are on the lookout for. And it turns out that I start working in January or even December to find a couple volunteers, just to find some folks that would be ready to do a 90-minute hands-on lab or presentation style that you see us doing here for developers, but then the added pressure of doing it for other kids, and the parents are watching. But I think it was a pretty big success. So, we have Rich Ross here, who as always is behind the scenes directing the stream, and I think we had a packed house.
Yeah,
every seat taken.
More so than we've seen with some of the monthly meetings, to be honest. It was
Yeah.
a lot of people here, which was great.
Yeah, we had a ton of kids, ton of parents. Everybody seemed pretty happy.
Mhm.
We had a talk. Again, there was an introduction to coding using code.org, which Samantha took part in.
Nice.
And then we had an intro to Azure Machine Learning, where I believe, if I understood the topic correctly, it was predicting the price points for cars based on their characteristics.
Okay, yep.
And what's fantastic about it is we've got this whole new generation of data scientists that we have to train, and I'm not one of them yet.
Yeah.
And so we're training them here, which is great because they can take the wonderfully high-paying jobs that are coming in that area that we are not ready for. But in any case, it was a ton of fun, and I think it was kind of nice to have something, I think, a little bit more advanced than we've had in the past. We specifically said middle school and high school students.
Yep. Yeah, I think if I remember right, last year when we did it, the older group, because we kind of split the kids up into 2 groups, that older group was a bit of an IoT session? Because it was...
Let me think. I know 2 years ago it was an app design.
Okay.
We used like app prototyping tool that I think was called Marvel to prototype apps. And then last year there was Scratch and intro to building websites with HTML, JavaScript, CSS.
Oh, that's right.
I built a website
Yeah.
that had this guide training.
That's right. And we're going to be
cool.
able to take a look at that a little bit later.
Nice.
So what we thought we would do tonight is talk about, since we just had kids here inspiring them to code, just go over a few ideas where you could teach your own kids to code with a few sites and tools and examples, some things that Samantha has done, and then just other things that we thought we could show you. Now, I mean, we can't do it all. There's tons of great ideas, and maybe we'll go through those at the end. But Samantha, one of the places that kids often start is one of the places you started pretty early on was with Scratch, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about Scratch?
It's a really fun way to make things and learn how to code at the same time.
Yeah. So what kind of things did you make?
I've made a ton of things by now. I've mostly made, actually, I'm pretty sure all the ones I've made is me and my best friend caring for our favorite animal. Pretty much all of them is that.
So would you say that a lot of the projects that you've made are like animated movies or simple games that revolve around this theme?
They're like all the same theme. So far, I think I only have 2 that I've used. Of these versions, I would call them episodes, except for you have a limited amount of screens. but using the code block, you can use those screens to make a whole movie.
Oh, okay. All right. So what I did is what we're gonna do here is we're gonna show an introduction to Scratch. So it's real basic. So for people who maybe have never seen or heard of it, Scratch is a project out of MIT, which I think if you just go to scratch.mit.edu, but I got to type that correctly, then we can see the homepage for it. And you can actually do all of your work in Scratch in the browser, or you can download, or at least used to be able, I think you still can, download a client for Windows or Mac that's a little bit more powerful. Can even take advantage of like your webcam and mic, and even do some light detection of what's going on your webcam, sort of like a lower tech Connect. I think one of the demos is where you put your hands in front of the webcam and juggle balls, and it detects them. Yeah, and it's, I mean, this is just a webcam. We're not talking about, you know, the awesome technology in the Connect. So in any case, when you decide to get started with Scratch, what you see is oh, this is interesting. Looks like it froze on my last screen there, because we do have the home page for Scratch up, and then when I switched over, I didn't get to our Scratch surface. What I was going to do was show, we'll try and get this up in a second here, is show you a little demo that we put together. Is it just the NDI thing, or?
It's an apple falling.
So yeah, so we have a demo where we've got yeah, my screen froze for some reason. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah. Again.
So first of all, while we're waiting, what do you think about being on the set here and seeing this, the building we're in and all the architecture behind us? Isn't this like this grand studio that we're in?
Yeah.
Yeah? We'll go with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think about being on stream and on the camera? You think it's something that you think is fun?
It's fun. And cool.
Cool. So what do you think you would like to be on stream and teaching people things? Okay, well, let's do that right now. We're going to do some Scratch.
Okay, we're good. Yeah. Can we bring it back?
Yeah, we're going to see that come back up. Okay, here we are. So if you wanted to start out with Scratch, you get a canvas that looks just like this. And if you're a developer, you'll say, well, okay, well, we're not using a traditional language. Yeah, well, you usually start off with just the cat. We're not using a traditional language, the programming language like you see. Instead, what do we program with? What do we use to program with?
Instead, we use these command blocks.
Okay, yeah. So like here's a command block. Yeah.
That allow us to make the characters do a few actions that you can make a game with, make a story with.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So here in the right, where I'm moving my mouse to now, you've done a lot of work on Scratch Junior, which is for iPad and Android. So that's great for a tablet. And this we're on in a web browser. So I'm on a Windows laptop, could be a Mac laptop, could be a Chromebook. But we actually have more features in Scratch versus Scratch Junior. I think that's right, yeah? So see how in the lower right I have a couple characters already, right? I have the cat, which everyone starts with, and this apple. Now, why, when I'm switching back and forth, why is this switching on the left?
Because when you click the character, you're moving to their side.
Okay.
To make more code for them.
Okay.
Without interfering with the other.
So the code
characters.
Is for each character. How do I know? Is this character? Is this what's telling me? That's the cat code. This is the apple's code.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So let's look at the simple code I did for this apple here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on it so we can see a little bit better. Oh yeah, that's nice and big, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? These are bricks that I can pull away, but why do I want to snap them together?
So
why can't I just leave them apart?
If you just press that right now, the flag, nothing would happen because nothing is connected to that.
Okay, and that event said what again? That event said
moved,
when flag clicked.
nothing happened.
Okay.
So if you connect this,
Mm-hmm.
you would be able. So now.
Well, what's going to
Stop
happen?
it.
Yeah, you can stop it, and then you're going to
And-
click the flag, and it moved the apple to that spot.
Yep.
Okay, so hold on. What if I move the apple with my mouse real quick? Let me just move it, and now you're going to click the flag again.
So.
That's fine, and it's going to jump back to that spot. Okay, so it's following the code.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now, I wanted to come up with a way for the apple to fall, and so what is this block going to do?
It's gonna make it repeat.
Okay.
It's gonna keep doing that over and over.
Okay.
And if we put this in, then that's what we're telling it to repeat.
So they're all locked in to do this, then this, then this. Is it like an order?
Yeah.
Oh, there
See,
it goes.
now the apple's falling.
That's
off the
perfect.
screen.
That's great. So
It just fell again.
what I was trying to do, and I put this together
Dad, they didn't show enough.
a little earlier today. Oh, is it freeze on us?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So
It's being.
So I'm gonna move over and get the other screen ready here, because what I was trying to do, and see, this is a little bit more complicated, as you'll see. I was trying to start working on a little game where you move the cat back and forth, and it tries to catch the apple. Now it's not finished, but you can see what I started with. Okay, so that no matter what, here, let's move the cat and the apple somewhere. So no matter what, when you click the flag, they get reset. That's in case they got moved around. So they're gonna get reset, right? Boom, they're reset. And I also had him pointing to the right. Okay. Now I had some other code down here. Maybe you can help me figure out what this code does.
Okay, so you're gonna make him do that forever.
Yeah.
So this key right arrow when is pressed, he's gonna do something.
Okay. Well, we don't have it running right now.
Right.
We haven't linked it back up.
And then switch to costume 1.
Okay, so let's talk about costumes. If I click on this tab, I can see the cat costumes, and it looks like he just has 2 simple costumes that probably are designed to make him look like he's animating.
Yeah, like this is to make him look like he's running, this is to make him look like he's walking.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
let's link this up, and what do you think this is going to do? So if somebody presses right arrow, it's going to switch costume, but why it's also moving too, because look, this isn't the best way to do this, but if the right arrow is pressed, then move 5 steps. If the left arrow is pressed, move 5 negative steps, but switch the costumes. And the idea was, I didn't have time to do this, was I was going to go in and change the costumes, which maybe we can do right now, so that it would look like he's turning left and right. You want to see if we can make that happen?
yeah.
So you have a costume editor, and in this costume editor, you can upload your own images, or sometimes you even draw right in here, right?
Yeah, if you take a blank character, shows nothing, then you can go to the canvas and create a new character drawn by you. If you wanted to paint a character,
Yeah.
you would press the paintbrush and you would select a color.
Okay.
Choose, like, I wanted a red cat.
Oh, okay.
Click
So hold
red.
on. We'll have to bring it back up so we can see your working here. There you go.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna change the color of the cat on me?
Dots around. I'm gonna I did
Here.
that.
Here's what I want to do. I want to make the cat look like it's going left and right. So let's take one of these costumes, and I believe that we can flip. Can't we flip them? I thought we could. I thought it would be easy.
I'm trying to do
Hold
some.
on. Hold on.
Oh, if you wanted to.
No, we don't have to paint them.
I want to, like, show them how.
Okay. Here, go ahead on costume 2 and paint the cat a little bit, because you can edit these yourself.
If you wanted to, like, fill them up, see, I'm painting the cat red.
Okay, so now the cat's red.
Yeah, and if we wanted, like, to make his mouth like him happy.
Okay. So let's go back to the code and use this costume. It's called costume 2. So back in the code, we're saying that when we press left arrow, he's going to turn red, and right arrow, he's going to stay He's going to change back to that orange costume. See that?
We can make it so he doesn't change to orange.
Okay. And then the idea of the game would be that you would move back and forth by using the arrow keys, which it's detecting. So under the sensing section, you have all kinds of events that are about figuring out whether time has gone by. Are you using the mouse? Are you pressing keys? Are two things touching each other? Is it touching a certain object, a certain color? But there's all these different categories of events, changing the look of the creatures,
No,
or
that's
the events, the
saying
sounds.
things.
You can play sounds.
Oh yeah.
You can monitor for these different events, like, well, what happens if this sprite is clicked? What happens if somebody clicked on it with their mouse?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, so that means you have the ability to make all kinds of games. You could make a game where you just use your mouse really quick to try and click on snowballs or something. Otherwise, if they hit you, then maybe you get hit by a snowball and you freeze. No?
You can kind of, I guess, do that
if you're skilled. So anyway, I mean, you walked us through this code. So what's special about a forever block here, and why do these blocks go inside other blocks? Do you know why?
forever blocks are like loops.
Okay.
Whatever you put inside that forever block, he does it forever.
Okay. So that means it's forever testing whether or not the right arrow's pressed. Right?
He's already missed that.
Yeah, well, we don't have any code to detect the apple or anything. But anyway, scratch.mit.edu, it's a great place to start, right? So let's look at another one. You've also done this. This is Code Combat.
Yeah, this is... No. Wait, 1 second. It's not showing it again. Behind me, back.
But you've worked on Code
there.
Combat. And Code Combat's a little
There.
different because instead of using block, what do you do instead of programming with block?
You instead type
Yeah, okay, so you type. Do you know what language that you used?
JavaScript.
Oh, okay. Could you choose other languages? Do you remember?
There's Python as well.
That's right. Wow, that's a good memory. Okay, so in this example that we have up on screen, which we don't have to really zoom in too much on, we've got a hero who wants to get these gems. And what happens is your hero already has...
I just already moved her.
It already has some methods on it, right? It has move right. And do you remember what other methods it had? Here's what's really cool. You get IntelliSense too. So
I already...
you've completed this one before, but there was move up,
Yeah,
move
I
down,
know.
move left,
and
move
I
right.
used a different character.
And so we want the hero to move down to get the gems, right?
Yeah, and it helps you when you press hero.
And
Those
then
are
we
gems.
want the hero to move up to get gems, and then we want the hero to move, was it right to get gems? And then we
Yeah.
click run, and let's see. He goes to the center, he goes down, he gets some gems, he goes up. Uh-oh, we moved right too early. I think I didn't get it right, did I? He had to move up again so that he could get to the top.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
wait, what was I gonna say?
No, what were you going to say? I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So this is a little
So-
script to help him move around. And now later it gets more difficult. You have to make him detect enemies,
You have to
attack them.
Yeah, you kind of have to use the enemies. Sometimes.
And was there code that you wrote to kind of figure out who the nearest enemy was so that you would attack them? So
I mean, there are chapters to this. In
Right.
the first chapter, I've completed it. It's basics, pretty much.
it was basics.
At least the first few levels, and it got tough.
It got tough.
Because you have to kind of understand what's going on around you. And what I do to do that is press run after I've written a few lines of code to make him get 1 gem.
Okay. So what you're saying is you would like write a couple lines of code and test to see how far you've gotten. You didn't just try to write it all at once.
No, I tested to see where I was at, and then I usually, of course, had to press reset. And then I would add more to it, fix the code, do whatever I needed to do.
Now, why did you think that was a good idea instead of trying to figure it all out at once?
Because, let's say it was a room with every wall had spikes on it, and there were gems hidden in corners, but you had to be careful because there were spikes everywhere.
Okay.
And I just wrote it all down at once, and all of a sudden I've crashed into a spike.
Yeah.
That's the level you have to restart.
Okay.
And I don't want that to happen.
All right.
You pretty much have to that's why I press run, see what happens, and fix things or add to it if I was correct.
So what's interesting, Sam, is that you're describing something that I think is pretty common among developers, which is write a little bit of code, build it and run it. Write a little bit of code, build it and run it. We don't sit down at work and write the whole program. We write it in little stages, and well, I thought it was interesting that you said that's how you wanted to work too. You wanted to write a couple lines and test and see how you were doing. So that's good because guess what? That's how Daddy works too. You kind of got to figure out, are you on the right track? So that was good. Let's see. So you've done a lot of work with Code Combat. Tonight you did code.org.
Yeah, I can even show.
Yeah, you did some code.org stuff.
I did 3. I'm not sure about the rest. So there was Minecraft Adventurer. It was the basics of this hour of code. There are videos to show you. You can choose your character, Steve or Alex.
Yep.
And you have to use the code blocks like Scratch to make it so you can pretty much help Steve or Alex do what you need to do.
So what are they trying to do in this one? It says move forward.
Let me see. Oh yeah, this is from the hero, a hero's journey. So you need to make here.
Okay.
You need to make the agent. You control the agent and that person. You can use the arrow keys here.
Oh, okay.
They're also shown on the screen. You can tap them on screen. He just moved there, which means I get to use
she can get
arrow
out.
keys and
so it's a combination here. You're using the blocks to control the other characters, but then you use the arrow keys to control your main character.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of game plus code.
Yeah. The hero's journey was because we had time, so I decided to do that one. And then the Minecraft designer is the world of Minecraft is frozen. You need to fix it.
Okay.
You get a huge green block with little slots, like when day, when night, stuff like that. Like gets you at night. You wanted the iron golem to drop 1,000,000 diamond, like stuff like that. You can also make the sheep drop wood instead of eggs, like stuff like that.
Okay.
You can make the chickens dance synchronized.
So that was the Minecraft designer section.
Yeah, that was that.
Okay. All right. Let's look at one more thing here. I think we did freeze again though. It doesn't look like we're up to date. I'm not sure.
It doesn't. Yeah, this is Minecraft designer one.
But what I want to show you is you've done something else in the past too, and it's not. We've done a lot of stuff with the blocks. We've done a lot of stuff with Scratch and with these languages and environments that you program with snapping blocks, right?
I'm gonna make the chicken say moo.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I have the sound on yet, but now I do.
Yeah.
And so you're saying?
Wait, it has cool combat music. What?
I turned it off. So it's gonna.
Here. So I changed the chicken cluck to moo. I want it to say moo.
All right.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, that's not supposed to be there?
Oh, wait, it is full. Yeah.
All right.
That chicken said moo.
Okay, so let's look at something else that you've done. You worked on your own website.
Oh, yeah, this is my website, doggy website.
Yep. And so you learned some basic HTML tags. Oh, yeah, we'll show the website. But right now, this is the code. You used Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, I used Visual Studio. It's a dog training guide that says it.
Right. And you made like a list of things about dogs. And the dogs sometimes eat meat, but also eat dog food. Some dogs are easier to train than others. So those are important dog facts. Right. And then you said, and then you even linked like an image of a dog, right?
Yeah, I linked an image of a dog laying like.
Right, and then you changed the style of the site using CSS too.
Yeah.
So you were learning some basic.
Yeah,
right?
This was basic
from last year. Oh, I see. So you're over it now.
Yeah, I mean I'm kind of.
Okay, so let's see. I'm using Visual Studio Code's live server to bring this up. Let me see. What was the port? 5500. So Visual Studio Code has an extension called Live Server, which will host a folder as if it was on a web server, And so that way, Samantha was able, when she was working on this, she was able to make some changes and then just check them out and see how they look. So let's make a change here. Like
can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
So far it says dogs. This is a dog training guide. Basic facts. Dogs sometimes eat meat, but can also eat, but also eat dog food. Some dogs are easier to train than others. Taking the beat. Teaching a dog to skateboard. Put the side of a cardboard box on or
have you taught a dog to skateboard?
I just know how.
You know how to do it?
Four even stack the books. Lure the dog with a treat. If it doesn't get on right away, practice some more. Then put a skateboard on the sidewalk or driveway if your dog's uncomfortable. Give the skateboard a little push and wear it off.
Yeah. So we have our good friend Skull Crusher here tonight who mentioned that on code.org they have workshops and resources for teachers. Absolutely true. I've also seen that on Code Combat as well, and I'm trying to think. I've seen a lot of other sites. I think Codable has some teacher resources, and you have a fetch instruction too. Well, here's what we're gonna do. Why don't we add something? Okay, so she's here it's even better than that when you're talking about if we're talking about in chat ranting about getting to use a great tool like Visual Studio Code instead of Notepad. It gets even better. So let's check this out. Sam, if we change something on your site, what can we add real quick? What can we add? Let's just add something simple. Do you want to add, I like how at the end you say if you don't want to train it, you can go to a dog trainer. That's good.
It's true.
So what do you want to add to your site? Let's add, you've talked about teaching a dog to skateboard. Let's add one more thing.
Let's add teaching a dog hide and seek.
Hide and seek. Okay.
It's possible.
What do we teach them? How do we teach them that?
So, you can just...
Oh.
Never mind. So, I would go down...
Oh, I think we froze it.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't want to go down.
Okay, so let's say that this was going to be our new section. Well, here's the best part: is that Sam can make this code change, and it turns out her site is hosted on GitHub. And if you take just static HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and put it into a GitHub repo, in fact, this happens to be one of my repositories for a little test app that I had where I was just playing around with some ideas for a space apps competition. And there's nothing special about this. There's just an index HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and assets. Don't even worry about these JSON files. I was trying to do something odd there. They're not required. They have nothing to do with this. That's all you have to do, and GitHub will host this code. It'll run when you go to a URL, which can be cleaner than the one you see here, but I didn't bother setting any of that up. You can set it up with your own custom domain if you want. Just a static website, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And as you can see, I pulled in libraries. I pulled in jQuery. I pulled in this open source mapping library, which has figured out our location. And it's actually got us pinpointed right here to the Microsoft building. I'm reading location data off of the thing. And so this is all off the web browser. This is all client code. So if you have just a static site, you can get started with just GitHub and what the feature called GitHub Pages. That's what you're using. When you commit your code to Git, it gets pushed up to your web page, which I set up the domain name for and everything, so it all just appears within a few seconds, and she gets her site about dogs. So it's interesting. Like, here's a way where you can kind of teach kids to do something pretty real world now. This is really like you're writing some code and you're going to commit to Git, and it's going to end up being a real site on the internet that they can look at on a different device, show their friends, talk to their teachers about. And what I think is neat about that is there are things like code.org and Code Combat. They're wonderful. They're good teaching aids. I really support them. But there's an extra light bulb that I think turns on for kids when you say, okay, now you've made it to something that's I hate to use the term real because it diminishes the other stuff.
Yeah.
But just go tell your friend to go to your website.
Right.
and you say, I made that. And they just take out a phone and they're like, wow, you made this? And it goes with you.
And I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a little bit ago. I think it was the model that for a hackathon we here where,
Yep.
you know, your suggestion, and it worked out very well for the kids doing it, in that they could create their site, deploy it to GitHub pages, and be able to show their friends. And
Yeah.
something that lasted after, you know, the 48-hour event that we did.
Right. So yeah, it's a nonprofit called We Connect the Dots puts on a hackathon that the school district, William Penn School District here in Pennsylvania, took part in. And so we were in, I think we were at the middle school in Darby or Yeadon. I can't remember exactly where, but it's in that area.
Yep.
And so we were there with all the kids, and what they were doing is they were committing their code to a GitHub repo, but that GitHub repo was configured for GitHub pages, and they had real websites. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And they were, I mean, these were, like you said, middle school
And high school kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was 7th through 12th. And so you had some young kids, and then you had some kids who were there for their 3rd or 4th time, and it was kind of neat to see them working together, because the experienced kids would, they not only, it wasn't even just about that they might have known a little bit of the code, it was that they had the experience in getting through the 48 hours.
Yeah.
How to kind of organize the time and make sure that you're not there on Sunday going, oh my gosh, we haven't really started yet. So they were coming up with ideas Friday, Saturday, because they knew limited amount of time, it goes very fast.
It does.
So, I mean, those are some ideas that I had. I mean, Scratch is great. There's tons of great resources online. We only scratched the surface with Code Combat and Code.org. There are a lot. This is an industry of educational. There's a Minecraft Educators Edition. You can do scripting in Minecraft now. The Minecraft, well, Java Minecraft has always had a modding community. The new Minecraft, if you're a big Minecraft aficionado, the Bedrock Edition that now runs on Xbox, Switch, the Nintendo Switch, on Windows 10 devices, they all play together, they all work together. You can now mod that. There's a whole API for that, and that is super exciting, and I think something we're going to be showing to kids soon. But you know, you can just kind of unleash your kids on HTML, and next thing they know, they're building little sites, right? And then you throw it onto GitHub and say, hey, you've got a website. So like we have in the chat here, using GitHub for school writing projects would be interesting. You know, you can have teachers track the participation of the group on the whole project, would teach personal accountability, right? You could look at, one thing that might be interesting there is to see who's committing, who's doing the commits for the project. Is it the same student,
right,
that's submitting the pull requests, or are they all working together here? So Sam, what are you doing? Did you move forward to try and work on the designer here? So did you think this was fun, the Code.org Minecraft? You thought that was a lot of fun? Now you're a big fan of Minecraft. So she's on the Minecraft Code.org, and it looks like we're on the,
I'm gonna make the chicken synchronize.
oh yeah, it looks like we're on the something else. But in any case, I think that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. So you do seem to enjoy this, which is great. You like building worlds in Minecraft too, though. That's like one of your things. You build little cities.
There are also these servers that you can play games on.
Okay.
With other people playing the game at the same time you are.
Yeah. You also like playing Roblox, which is another tool that you can make your own games with, right?
Alright, I just created this. Okay.
So what does it do?
The chickens are gonna synchronize dancing chickens.
Oh, I see. All the chickens
I doing the
turn
same
left,
thing.
move forward, they turn right, and they drop a
did the
diamond.
same
Is that what it
exact
says?
thing.
Wait, I want to see.
Look at them go!
And they're playing a chicken cluck sound that I guess I should.
Well, I'm gonna change the sound.
Was that your idea to make them
Yeah.
synchronized chicken diamond laying?
I'm actually gonna change it. I'm gonna do.
Sam, that's an explosion sound.
They stopped exploding.
Well, I think you had to restart it for them to play your new command, right? Because it's even showing the highlighted bricks. The highlight is the one that's running right now, right? All right, good job. Well, I'm glad we had Samantha on. That's good. That's all I have for working with kids. It's pretty good.
So I think we got one more last question up on the.
Okay, so let's see. What would Sam want to pick as the background on the green screen?
A dog.
A dog. Well, we have the building, right? Do you know what other backdrops we have?
No, I don't.
We have us working in the building, and
the one on the screen.
Oh, you like that
there.
one?
Yeah,
that's like a command deck. That's like we're on.
I know.
Oh, that maybe like we're on the spaceship.
Yeah, buy mine.
That's a pretty neat one. You can spin it around and see several different views.
Turn random. Then they're gonna drop.
Usual set.
This is like the new set.
Look, now they're all random. Like they're gonna do random things, but like,
each one of them does something different. But they're all laying diamond eggs.
No, they're just laying diamonds.
Okay. That's like our new set. Do you like that one? Which one do you like the most? Do you think we need new ones?
Command deck.
The command deck's your favorite? Do we need new sets? What games are you playing right now on your Xbox?
Minecraft, NHL 19,
NHL 19,
NHL 18, and Dauntless.
And Dauntless? You're playing Dauntless? Or did you just play it that one time? What's your favorite thing to do in NHL 19?
Play.
Well, besides play, there's a couple features that you do the most, I think.
Is there a certain move that you do?
Well, first of all, I like in the game when I'm playing the game, I like to body, and to like just knock them down, take away the fucking fight. And then I also like create teams.
So you make teams. So when you make a team, what kinds of things do you get to do?
You can choose the colors. You could choose from this custom logos. You could choose one from any team in the NHL. If I wanted to make a junior Kings team,
okay,
I could do that. I have so far in NHL 18. I've actually created way more teams. I just started.
Okay.
In NHL 18, I have a long list of them.
Yeah, you pick other things. You pick mascot.
Oh yeah.
What about like the arena and stuff?
Oh yeah, you can paint the arena, do the songs and everything.
Yeah, so when a team scores a goal,
you can say some. You can like play song. You have a choose. You can choose from a ton of songs. My favorite song to do is what was it? Yeah, Air's Free in it. I like.
Okay.
I don't use it all the time though.
Oh. Okay.
Pretty much, nearly all of my teams. I'm pretty sure like 99% of my teams are using what we started for their end songs when we win.
So you like making custom teams and then playing the Edmonton Oilers, who you usually beat 35 to 1 or something.
I played the Coyotes a couple times.
Yeah. You usually beat the Ducks though, right? Yes.
I don't really play them much.
Oh.
But I have once won a game 31 to.
Yeah.
Wow.
31 to.
Because the Oilers are not.
So what's something that you don't know how to code but would like to figure out in the future?
I want to figure out how to program a computer that can allow you to, like, for people who can't use their arms, be able to use their eyes.
Oh wow,
or
that's
maybe,
pretty cool.
Like, think something and the computer reacts, like something like that.
Yeah, there's an eye tracker called the Tobii eye tracker.
That's like for a remote.
No, it's a lot of streamers use it. They plant it in front of their monitor, and then what they'll do is they'll put up on stream the coordinates of where their eyes are looking. And the idea would be that, like, if you're watching somebody who's really good at a shooting game or any kind of action game, you could see, well, here's what they're focusing on when they're looking for enemies or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could use that same eye tracker technology to do what you were saying, control things with their eyes.
Yeah, like looking at like they're looking at a zombie in Minecraft, then thinking attack, and they would attack the zombie. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Or
but also, like you said, I like that
like
idea of using that eye tracker technology maybe to control things. That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it may be possible today. Maybe. I don't know.
They've already done most.
Oh, you think so? Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure go.
That's how it works. All right, so you're a big Xbox player, and you like playing hockey games for some reason. I can't imagine why.
Scratch Junior is a good way to start Scratch.
And Scratch Junior is a good way to start Scratch on like an iPad or Android, right?
And I have more projects on Scratch Junior than I do Teams in the 18. Seriously.
NHL 18.
But it's
so
true.
You recommend everybody starts out, tries code.org?
And if you just want to start super easy with Scratch, just use Scratch Junior.
Okay. Those are your recommendations to get started learning the code?
I do it on it.
All right.
Approved.
Damn approved.
There you go.
All right. Well, we might have a bit of a short show tonight, but again, wanted to talk about some ways to get started. We didn't have our regular meeting, but we will be back first Wednesday in July, which I think is the 3rd.
Yep.
And
no. Well,
is that getting moved?
Philly.net meeting?
Yeah, Philly.net.
So the next Philly.net meeting is July the 10th, because we got 5 Wednesdays in July, so we did the 2nd and 4th.
Oh, okay. All right.
So a formal meeting, the hands-on lab is July 10th, and then the 15 minutes of fame, right? That's what we're doing.
The current plan is July 24th will be a meetup called 15 Minutes of Fame, where everybody does 15-minute topics. Try to keep them at 15, challenge in itself, but a lot of fun. And we're still, I think, gonna probably start having to push to get some signups for that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Did Bill do a speakerize for that, or a sessionize for that?
We have in the past. I don't know if it's built right now.
All right, so find us on Twitter at philly.net, DOTNET. Let us know if you've got a session. To be honest, we've talked about this maybe a month or so ago, that, how do you get started in speaking? And I know for me, the 15-minute session was my first time of speaking in front of a live audience like that. It's a great opportunity. It's 15 minutes. You can, a couple minutes of intro, a couple minutes or 5-10 minutes on your topic, and then a couple of minutes of wrapping up. That's it.
Yep.
It's really easy.
It goes really fast.
Yep.
So you don't have to, something quick, a good tip, something, an intro to something.
Something cool you're building.
And, depending on, we'll have to think about this. I wonder, because I might do something remote that night, just because we want to be able to do that. So I don't know, maybe we can have some other remote guests.
Yeah.
Tonight too. So
yeah. So I know there are some people who are following us who are up in Granton area. There's I'm blanking on the name because Jason was telling me about it tonight. The user group kind of out in central Pennsylvania, out near Harrisburg.
Oh yeah, centralpenn.net is out there. Yeah.
So if way to extend your audience, right? If you're thinking of if you got a topic, we'd love to figure some way to Skype you in and let you run the session that way. So nothing is off the table for if you really want to present. So
we got a question that said, could first-time speakers be shorter than 15? And actually, I think that's fine. Here's the thing: is that it can be difficult to finish in 15. Yeah. So there's actually something to being done at the 15-minute mark. We often run behind that night, and it's not. People are trying, but sometimes you just want to get that last thing out, and so if you finish in 10, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's all about one little morsel, and we move on from there. So I think it's a great idea, and that's going to be the 24th. On the 10th, we're here, hands-on lab, and it's going to be Blazor, which we think a lot of people will be excited about. One of the most popular topics on the YouTube channel, which Philly.net, PhillyDOTNET, YouTube.com/PhillyDOTNET. You can see all of our past shows, all of our past videos, everything's there. And yeah, the ASP.NET Core plus Blazor, 1,100 views in a month. Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. So I'm seeing
Bill's
that.
Code Camp Talk, right?
Yeah. 1,100 views in a month, and so it's a hot topic. People hear Blazor and they definitely want to see it. So that's going to be the hands-on lab July 10th. Make sure you're going to want Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. If you're using Visual Studio, you're going to have Visual Studio 2019. You're going to want the preview. You can use Visual Studio Code. Try to stick with a later version. and you're going to want the .NET Core 3 preview SDK on the Windows side. And when we get a little closer to that, go get whatever the latest is, because they may, they might ship another one by then.
Right.
So we'll keep up with it.
Yeah, and they can run side by side. So if you're running Studio Preview, you can run the regular in addition, so it won't impact those.
We'll go back later.
Installs.
Right. You can run it all side by side. So that's it for tonight. So we're going to say goodbye. Want to thank Rich for running everything behind the screen as always, and making us look good here in the studio. And we got the miracle of being able to code with everybody live. And I want to thank Samantha for joining us. Did you have fun?
Thanks, Samantha.
Thank you for teaching us about what it's like to learn to code today as a kid. And I just think it was great. All the people that showed up tonight. If you're watching this in the future, we had over 100 people here, many dozens of kids, and they all seem to have a great time. So we're excited to do it. Yep. All right, that's it. We'll see you next time.
See you back next Wednesday.
Bye.
Yep.
All right.
We'll see you then,
everybody.
Bye.
Did your mom fall asleep?